through. Hello, I'm Julia, the Education Officer at the Boys Museum. Love is in the air. It's Valentine's Day soon and you will need to make a Valentine's card for your loved one, and I'm going to show you how to do that using a selection of materials and papers and card that you might have at home. So I'm going to show you a few examples first, and then I'm going to have a go at making one, and you can then decide how you might like to go ahead and make one too. Okay, so let's start. So this is the most simple effect, just to have 3 different sizes and then position them one on top of each other. The next here, and I've positioned them so that they're at different angles, which is quite nice, and also just glued half this heart, so you could actually draw a picture in there or write a message or add some colours. The next one is, remember, don't throw away, this is where I've cut a template out, but don't throw away that outer bit because that's useful. And then I've got 2 smaller ones, and again this is like 3D, just positioned it, glued it at the bottom here. Okay, and again you could do some words or patterns on the outside. So this here is inspired by snowflakes outside, so you know the usual sort of Christmas snowflake patterns that you do. To do this, you have your plain piece of paper, fold it, and then fold it again, and then cut out heart shapes. So normally you would do sort of triangles for your snowflake, and then you unfold it, and actually once you've unfolded it you could probably fold it again and create some other shapes in there too. So that's quite nice. It's a bit like laser cutting. I've done the same here. So this is, I've got a swan, so I've just actually folded this one in half and then cut in the curve. You just got to remember not to cut too much out of that centre, otherwise the paper will just fall apart. Okay, so I've just folded that in half, cut round, and then you get your swan. Okay, and again these are a bit more like snowflakey patterns there. So this is like a 3D, and this is where your template comes into its own, so that your hearts are exactly the same. You can glue them and actually match them up perfectly. So I've got 3 hearts here that have been cut. So there's one, there's the second one, and there's the third one. And then I've glued the sides together and then put inside a tissue, and then a smaller plain paper heart. So that's quite nice. A little bit more complicated, but simple but effective. Again, it's different shapes, different sizes, and again just sort of glue them, half of them, so that they're fluttering in the breeze. This is simple again, simple and effective, same shapes, same size hearts rather, and positioned either on the side and again glued, where you've just got half of it glued and half of it sort of fluttering. So very like a geometric pattern, I think, that one. This one's a little bit more complicated, but with the letters, L and the heart and the V is straightforward to do because you're just cutting that round, and then you cut your line down. The same with the heart, you're cutting your heart shape, and then with the V, you're just cutting that sort of diagonal line there, so you can sort of see actually the mouse shape that's been cut on there to get your heart inside. But then for the E, what you need to do is cut a line, so you've got your line, and then once it's open you can sort of get your scissors in to make that E. Right, I'm going to have a go now at making one, and then you can decide what card you want to make. Alright. Okay, so let's start. And the first thing is to gather lots of different coloured paper, plain paper, wallpaper, tissue, and even scissors that have a fancy edge on them, to give you a nice detail on the edge of your hearts. So I said we need to cut out lots of different shapes. Okay, you can use a template to draw around, like this wooden decoration, or you can just draw your own. You need a plain piece of paper, fold it in half, and then you're going to, so there's the edge, there's the fold here, I'm going to draw a mouse shape. So there's my mouse, there's his nose, his eyes and his ears, and there's his tail. Okay, and then once you've drawn that out, you can cut it, and then there, hey presto, you've got a nice equal shape. Now to make a smaller one, so it's a good idea to keep some templates aside, okay, but to make a smaller heart, and if you're wanting to make it so that it's the same sort of shape as this, is to draw on here. So get your pencil, move my hearts to one side. So have your pencil, and then starting on the fold, is to draw around, and as you can see, I'm doing this quite slowly, but leaving an equal, so that you've got an equal space all the way around. And then once you've done that, you can cut it out, and you can sort of see there, I've actually kept the piece that I've cut out. So you've got another heart there that you can play with, because these bits are quite nice to keep. But then you've got a smaller heart. Okay, so that's good for overlapping, all right? And it just looks quite nice when they're sort of very similar. So have fun cutting out lots of different shapes, because the fun comes when we put them together onto the card and you can have an experiment and a bit of a play. So I hope you've had fun making your card, and have a super day celebrating St. Valentine's Day. Take care. Bye.